I'm pretty sure that was the greatest episode of Raw I have ever seen. Now, granted, I've only been watching for 14 months, so how much that means, that's going to vary from person to person here. Now, on this channel, I don't really do full episode reviews anymore. I tried that. I don't think that's for me. But what we just had with the Wyatt 6 showing up, I just want to talk about it with people. I'm going to be honest. I just really want to talk about this. And at this point, I'm super thankful that, we've started to build this community that I can talk about this with a bunch of people. And so before we even get started, I want to invite you, if there's anybody out there that maybe you don't have a friend group that watches wrestling with you, if there's anyone out there that doesn't really have people to share this excitement with, I invite you to go down to the comments and just write how you felt, write how excited you are, write how this whole thing is making you feel. Did it give you goosebumps? Did you tear up a little bit? I know that there are a lot of people that, that really miss Bray and that was, have been watching wrestling for a long time, got really emotional during this. So feel free to spill that down there and then interact with other people who may have done the same. So feel free to comment on each other's comments, and, we can, those of you who aren't new here know that every day when I upload a video, I'm very active in the comments for at least that first day. So I'm really excited to go down and share in this excitement with you. So tell me how you felt about it. I would love to interact and kind of go back and forth about this, because that was just an episode that I was excited about it all day long, and it completely delivered. When I say it delivered, I mean it shattered my expectations. Now, I'll be totally honest. I am somebody who, I thought the QR codes were really cool at first. It took a little bit, but after a while, the QR codes got kind of stale for me. Mostly because I'm not really that kind of a puzzle guy. I'm not that kind of puzzle where I don't want to go from website to website and crack this code, crack that code. I find it interesting to listen to other people do it. I like watching and listening to my friends do it. Shout out Fish. He was bringing me a lot of information as this was going on, and I found that interesting. But after a while, the QR codes, I wasn't even stopping to scan them anymore. So if I'm being totally honest, I was a little worried that with how much they were delaying this and how long this was taking to come to fruition, I was nervous that at the end of the episode of Raw, we were going to just get a flash of light, maybe a silhouette in a corner, and that was going to be our big reveal or our tease or something like that. But so my expectations admittedly were a little bit low, but that's really just because I don't know. But even if my expectations were higher, they still would have been completely blown away. The production value of this scene that they did, it gave me goosebumps. I started to tear up a little bit when I heard they were using Bray's song. The terrifying woman crawling on the ground up to the lantern, sending us back to the back room, and just like the fog, the sparks coming from the ceiling in a room that we just saw like an hour or so before was completely fine when Drew was talking to Triple H and walking through it with Adam Pearce. Granted, that could have been pre-recorded because of how much work it would take to set up that room, but it looked so good. It was so convincing. It was so creepy. And I'm someone who doesn't like horror movies. I like some horror video games, but I don't watch horror movies. So the fact that I was able to get creeped out by it, and in a fun way, I was super excited about it. It was just perfect. It was so much fun. Like the whole time I felt like I was like bouncing in my chair, and then when it was over, me and my fiance were basically running around the living room, not literally, but we were going around the living room and just talking about it and being like, oh my god, let's watch it again. And we watched it on YouTube like 3 more times after that. We went and watched some streamers' reactions to it. It was such a cool moment that it almost kind of felt like WrestleMania 40, like the second night with all the crazy stuff happening. It was just a moment that I was really excited to not just experience myself, but experience it with my friends and everybody that I was talking to about this. I was so excited to share it, which is the main reason why I'm shifting my whole schedule this week so I can make this video to go up today. I had all these plans for the week, but I want to talk about this so bad because it was so good. Now, with that comes some questions. I do, because I wasn't here for The Fiend. I've seen the clips. I've seen some cool stuff of The Fiend. I wasn't here for it, so I have a few questions. So some of you that are always so kind, and I like it when multiple of you answer it, because sometimes you guys give slightly different variances of answers that gives me a little bit more information. First of all, do we know who all 5 of them were? Like, is that something that's known through the QR codes? Is that Was that announced already? I heard a lot of speculation. I'm fairly confident that I know 2 of them, maybe 3. I'm pretty sure the woman was Nikki Cross. I'm like 100% sure it was Bo, right? It was Uncle Howdy. That's his thing. So it wouldn't be someone else. So Bo Dallas, right? And then I've heard rumors that maybe one of the other ones is Dexter Loomis. I don't really know him that well. I think he's barely been featured since I've been watching. And another one I think was something Gacy, Joe Gacy. I only know him from the 2K game because he has a cool entrance in the game. I don't think I've seen him on TV or anything. Is that another confirmed one? Do we know? That's my first question is, do we know who these 5 are? And do we know like a further motivation? I know they said something about, it seems like the motivation, I feel, I didn't really take a lot of notes. I kind of just hit record because you're kind of getting this version of, I'm just sitting here talking to my friends about this at this point. So, but I know there was kind of a thing about like, family and pushing away or mistreating family maybe, and that's why Chad Gable was targeted because of what just happened with Alpha Academy. So maybe I don't want to just jump into random speculations, but I guess I'll lead right into my next question. Do we think this is going to happen on SmackDown? Do we think that maybe this is like some wild speculation for me? I'll be honest. You don't need to go and tell me I sound silly, but like, I'm kind of just really excited. I'm thinking of the attacking the family kind of thing, or the people who mistreat their family kind of thing. I feel like if that's their motivation, targeting somebody like Solo would make a lot of sense. But I understand it's probably not going to happen because Solo, I feel like Solo and the Bloodline are kind of in a more main eventy. I'm realizing I don't need my headphones on for this. I'm sorry. It's kind of more like in a main eventy kind of thing, like with Cody and them. And I don't think this is going to interact with those people so much, maybe. But if you think about it, Solo kicked Jimmy out of the Bloodline, like mistreating his family, kicking him out. So on paper, it makes sense that Solo would be a target of this faction if that is their primary motivation. Do you guys have any other suggestions? Can you think of any other faction breakups where one person kind of mistreated the rest? Maybe Ludwig and Gunther get targeted because of what they did to Giovanni Vinci. I mean, maybe that's what did happen. Some people were saying they thought they saw Ludwig or Gunther on the ground. I was one of them who I thought I saw Ludwig on the ground, but everyone's saying that those were just production guys. I'm guessing we don't know for sure. So maybe this is going to be something that happens over time and more people get picked off. I don't know what to expect here. This is something I don't know how they did it with the Fiend. Like, are these guys going to have matches? Is this going to be something where they're just doing supernatural stuff and attacking like backstage? Is this something that gets in? Would they have like sanctioned matches against these people? Like, I don't know. I don't fully understand. I don't get it. Like, I love it, but I'm trying to figure out how they would do this every week without them just like killing people backstage, like, speaking of killing people backstage, what's the plan with Chad Gable now? Does this, like, is he supposed to be dead? Like, is his character supposed to be dead? Is he going to be gone for a long time? Or, I mean, I thought he just re-signed his contract, so that would be crazy if he was actually, unless they pretended to re-sign the contract to throw you off on this. Or I don't know. Was he just super injured? Is he going to be like hospitalized and come back super injured? And maybe like, I don't know. Tell me what you guys think, or tell me what you know from maybe like the Fiend era and the Fiend days. Is this something that was commonly done where people or wrestlers were eliminated? Were like eliminated and potentially, removed from the story permanently or just like long term or something. Chad Gable's supposed to have a match next week. I think it would be cool if he wasn't in that match because of this. I would like it if attacks like this had an impact on stuff like that. But how long does that go? Is that something that is going to have a long-term effect on him? You guys would know better. I have not gone back and watched the whole like the Fiend story. I've just seen cool entrances, and I've seen the Bray documentary that was on Peacock, which is very good, by the way. Another question I have is, how far back do you think this planning goes? And I only ask that because of Nikki Cross. Now, if we're 100% sure, which I feel like I'm 99% sure that it's Nikki Cross as the girl. It looks just like her. It's got the same stature, the same stance, the same body type. So if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's Nikki Cross. And remember, like months ago, like not just a few, so many months ago, they have been doing this creepy Nikki Cross thing, right? Remember when she was in like a women's battle royal, not the recent one with Becky, where Becky won the title after WrestleMania, way back when they did a battle royal, and she just stood there in the middle being all, well, at the time it was just weird, but looking back with this context, it's a little more creepy. Now, was that part of that plan? Is this like hindsight writing of being like, oh, that would kind of explain that? Or has this, I mean, does this go back all the way, like, I don't even know what month it would have been. I don't remember. It's been a long time though. There was like scenes of Nikki Cross being like outside of buildings and stuff, like when they would do the establishing shot of wherever SmackDown or wherever it was, and then she would just be standing there or walking outside in the rain. They wouldn't mention it or anything. Is this potentially something that went that far back in planning? And are any of the other people that are in this Wyatt Six, have they been planted somewhere in the past and we didn't notice? Maybe we only noticed the Nikki Cross stuff. Okay, next question. It's Wyatt Six, but spelled like S-I-C-K, and then there was like a 6 at the end. It's like an S. There was only 5. Now, I've heard a couple of really common speculations. One, Alexa Bliss, for whatever reason, isn't there yet. I feel like if they were going to have the group, they would have everybody there on this reveal though. So I have a hard time believing that it's going to be Alexa Bliss or another person. The other speculation that I've heard a lot that I kind of buy into a little bit more, because I think it would be really sweet, is if Bray is actually the 6th. You know, spiritually, it's more of like a symbolic 6th person being Bray. Like maybe I think I heard someone say like the lantern, like he's encompassed symbolically in the lantern and he is the 6th member and there's only 5, which I would be totally cool with. I think that would be really cool to keep him a part of that spiritually. I think that would be cool. But if you don't think that that's what it is, I'm very curious of your speculation. I'm very curious of who you think the 6th might be. Kind of back to what I was talking about earlier about SmackDown. Is this a kind of thing that you think would be on both shows? Like when The Fiend came around and was doing wacky stuff, was that just on whatever show Bray Wyatt was on? I know this is a little bit of a different situation, right? Because Bray was probably drafted, assuming they did the draft then, but Bray was probably already on a show, right? I'm assuming. I'm not looking this up, but my assumption is Bray would have already been like on Raw or something, and then turned into The Fiend, and then could have just kept that on Raw. In this situation, I don't know if any of the people in this group are on a roster right now or on a show officially. So can we potentially expect this to get crazy round 2 this Friday in Chicago? Or is this something that maybe it's an every Monday kind of thing? I don't know. I know this is really just me end up asking a lot of questions, but I just really want to talk about this. And I'm promising you, if you have speculations, if you have answers or anything, I will be in these comments. I will be down there. If you're watching this right now and this video's been up for less than 24 hours, I am down there refreshing on my phone and I am reading comments, interacting, because this is some of the coolest stuff I have seen, not just in wrestling, but in entertainment. Like, I didn't know that I could get this excited about something just in entertainment, and this is why I'm realizing how much I love wrestling. And it didn't take us very long. Me and my fiance got very excited even more after this episode ended, because we have tickets to SummerSlam in Cleveland. That's right. I don't know if I've said this on a video. I know I've talked about it on stream over on Twitch. Go follow me on Twitch, by the way, because I want to talk more about this on Twitch. So twitch.tv/Deporticus. Go follow me over there and let's talk. But yeah, we're going to be going to SummerSlam in Cleveland this year. And I'm really excited because this feels like the kind of timeline where they could do something really exciting there. I believe my friend said that another date that was mentioned in some of these QR codes lines up with SummerSlam. Tell me if you think that's true. Is that something that you've seen as well? Like I've said, lately I have not really dug deep into these QR codes. They're a little over my head. I didn't know. The QR codes are especially tough for me because there's references in it that I don't know. Some of it might be, it seems like people are like, oh, that's this guy from way back when. I'm like, I don't know who that is. I don't know. So it was kind of tough for me to get a ton out of the QR codes after a while. Or do you think it's more likely they would do something at Money in the Bank, or is that too soon, or would they do both? Tell me what you think. I'm down for predictions. I'm down for speculation. The only thing I'm not down for is negativity and hate on this. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be a little over aggressive with the delete button down in the comments. So if you have any hate or a bunch of crap you want to put down there about like, oh, this is stupid, they did a terrible job, this is Triple H at his finest, or some crap like that, just don't bother, because I'm not having it. I want to just go down in the comments and talk about this and get excited about it. Feel free to join the Discord. You can talk about it there too. Whatever. So thank you for listening to this very unorganized rant. I'm super excited about this. I'm hoping you are too. And now, yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.